What up everyone, this is Scat bringing you another game from the Burswood Super Amateur StarCraft 2 Invitational Tournament held in November of 2011. This is game 4 of the winner's bracket between UnKnOwN, the yellow Protoss, spawning on the left side of Metalopolis, and in the south position we have hiphop, the blue Terran. Hiphop is currently up 2-1 in this best of 5. He only needs to take this game to advance to the grand final with a 1-game lead. Meanwhile, UnKnOwN needing to win the next 2 to pull back a win. However, of course, this does use a loser's bracket system, so losing this game is not the end of the world for either player, and dropping down to the loser's bracket means that they will face the champion of that particular finals, and they will have another chance to advance to the grand final to play against this player again for a rematch, if you follow my logic. Anyway, as we see now, we've got a fairly forward pylon here, still in his base. This can spot any kind of drops coming in from the northern side, as well as allow you to warp units in on the low ground and attack these very close position bases on Metalopolis. Should show that UnKnOwN is going for some kind of aggressive play here, also throwing down multiple gateways. These will be out of scan range, going for a 4-gate straight off the bat. We have not seen UnKnOwN 4-gate so far in this series. It could catch hiphop off guard if he is not ready for it, but of course not an optimal 4-gate. It's 5 minutes 15 in. Warp gate is just about finished, but he's got 42 supply. He doesn't have the forward pylon he needs to really apply the pressure, and 3 Marauders up here mean that he's not going to be able to do as much damage as he likes straight away. Meanwhile, hiphop playing fairly standard as far as we've seen from him. He's still got 1 gas. He's just going to pump out Marauders on 1 and factories out of Marines out of effectively 3 barracks here with the reactor on the second one. So here we go, we've got another pylon down there to spot, being very cautious to spot these drops, but he's got a big blank zone here. Don't know if hiphop's going to exploit that if the game goes on long enough, but we're seeing a 4-gate, so of course there is every chance that it won't go on that long. Did hiphop see these gateways? No, he didn't. He does not know about the 4-gate going into this. This could be very dangerous. He's of course going to suspect that something's up. He may think that he's gone for a fast expansion, but the 4-gate is definitely a big threat right now. He's got quite an army at the front door, but is he going to be able to hold off this big Protoss push? Of course, concussive shells are done, so if UnKnOwN doesn't do the damage he needs to, if he fights a losing battle, he's not going to be able to escape these Marauders in time. They're going to slow down any Stalkers they hit and finish them off. Here we go, big engagement. UnKnOwN is pretty all in at this point. Guardian shield up, but no, he pulls back. He only loses 1 Stalker and force fields the ramp for safety, getting out of there. Wants to plant a forward pylon. Still going to try and push this advantage, but no, he cancels, he pulls back. Very wise decision. He really needs to macro up from here, saving up some minerals. He's either going to go for another big warp in, which is unlikely, or he's going to expand, or possibly even go for Robotech. There's the Robotech as the third and final option that I thought was possible, but no, going to play it very safe, very standard, go the way he knows and get Robo out. Meanwhile, our Terran player has just got a huge Marine Marauder ball. There is not much that gateway units can do against this. He's going to need to tech up to Colossus with this robotics straight away if he wants to stand a chance. Stim is done. We've got a factory out. The factory's building the reactor. Starport coming down. We are literally 2 minutes away from having a huge Marine Marauder medevac push, and Colossus are not going to be out in time. Of course, the robotics facility just finishing. He needs a support bay and then to build Colossi. Are we going to see a support bay, or is he just going to try and hold this off with gateway units and Marauders? He could be in a lot of trouble here. He is completely outnumbered. Of course, Protoss units very strong, but Stim evens the matchup quite consistently for the Terran player, and having just this many units, look at this, over a full page, and most of them being Marauders, I don't know if he's going to be able to hold out if Hip Hop decides to push out anytime soon. But at the same time, neither player expanding, of course. Expanding in these series so far has generally led to losing because you don't have an army to defeat the opponent's push. Twilight Council coming out, almost the same build order we saw last game, but he still doesn't have Colossi coming out. Here we go, 2 minutes from when I said, well, 1 minute 40, and we've got the first medevac out. It's going to heal up that initial damage from the push before. And just a supply block blocking the second medevac from coming out. Of course, medevacs being 100 minerals, 100 gas, you don't want to lose them in any engagement, being very expensive. But giving your army oh so much extra power, being able to stim without any real fear of losing that health and going into another fight without that health again on your units. Nail-biting stuff. We've got a big gateway army. We don't have charge yet. It's on its way. Charge will even this up, but not if he fights on the Terran's choke. UnKnOWN, I really feel he needs to be taking an expansion and trying to defend this wide open space here with the charge lots. But here we go, Hip Hop is pushing out again. It looks like he's going to try and clear up any pylons on the way. It's only going to delay his push by a minute or so. The Observer coming around, he sees that the army has moved out, and as long as the Observer doesn't go too far, yes, it's definitely going to see this force moving out across the map. And it's on follow, so here we go. UnKnOWN knows exactly what's coming his way, and it is massive. I don't know if he's seen the medevacs, but he's going to assume that they're here. Definitely sees them now with the dead probe and the Observer scouting them very clearly. 4 medevacs. Is he going to drop into the main? He's got high ground. He sees this warp gate, and the pylon, the Artosis pylon, powering all of these warp gates. An absolute disaster. Medevac spotting the high ground. UnKnOWN is not going to have reinforcements at any kind of speed. He is in so much trouble right now. He needs to get a probe over here and get these warp gates operational. He's also supply blocked. He has no chance of warping in more units. More pylons going down, but he doesn't have one coming in over on the side. I don't think he's actually noticed that these are unpowered. I think he still thinks he's got access to them, which would be a huge mistake on UnKnOWN's part. Hip Hop just playing extremely safe. He's checking for a third or a hidden expansion, making sure he's not going to get sandwiched or any proxy pylons up here to come in from the back with charge lots. Charge, of course, having completed now. And here we go, he's pushing, he's got the stim. UnKnOWN's on the high ground, he needs to pull back, he needs to force field, he gets the ramp. He's safe again, he can recharge his shields, and the medevacs can heal all these units. Just going to try and pick off another pylon here. The medevacs giving sight is such a huge advantage. Not that Terrans already need more advantages with Marine Marauder medevac, but being able to see the high ground is just another one. Here we go, big engagement. Oh no, UnKnOWN only having half of his forces there. I don't think he's going to be able to hold this. A bit of a miss micro. The probes are being pulled, but they're just getting fed into the Marine meat grinder. All of the probes going down, and GG from UnKnOWN. Hip Hop advances to the grand final, and UnKnOWN drops down to the loser bracket to face off the finalists there. Congratulations to Hip Hop, you are one game away from the $100 prize, and I will be back to cast some more games shortly. Stay tuned.